Hello and welcome to this video tutorial, getting started with OS2 Warp. I'm Berger Ritchie along with Leslie Thomas.
OS2 Warp is IBM's 32-bit operating system. Use OS2 Warp for fast and easy multitasking and multimedia features.
OS2 Warp enhances your DOS and Windows applications, yet offers the advantages of true 32-bit operations. In this video, we'll cover installing OS2. We'll explain the tutorial and the desktop. We'll open a folder. We'll use a pop-up menu. We'll view a Windows application. We'll use the Launchpad and its push buttons. We'll change the lockup image. We'll minimize a window, activate it, then move it. We'll explain the Launchpad objects. We'll change the sound options. We'll change an object title. We'll create a shadow object, then open it. We'll change a program object name. We'll explain the Drives folder. We'll create a folder, then copy files into it. We'll delete an object. We'll format a floppy, then check our hard and floppy disks. We'll install a Windows application, then create a program object. We'll install a DOS application, then run it. We'll install part of the bonus pack. Then we'll move a folder. We'll explain and use dual boot. Finally, we'll shut down OS2 Warp. We're demonstrating the CD-ROM version of OS2 Warp. If you are installing Warp with floppy disks, some screen prompts may be different.
Since OS2 Warp uses a graphical environment, we will use the mouse unless otherwise specified.
Terms such as select, choose, highlight, double-click, and drag refer to the mouse cursor and mouse button 1, the left button.
We will specify when you need to use mouse button 2, the right mouse button.
You can install OS2 Warp over OS2 for Windows, DOS version 3.3 or later, OS2 version 1.3, Microsoft Windows 3.1 or 3.11, or Windows for Workgroups 3.1 or 3.11.
We're installing OS2 Warp over MS-DOS version 6.2 and Windows 3.1.
Keep in mind, you can install OS2 Warp on a computer with Windows 3.0 or just DOS. However, you cannot run Windows programs.
To run OS2 Warp properly, you need a computer system of 386SX with at least 4 megabytes of RAM.
Also, you need a 1.44 megabyte diskette drive, VGA video support, and an IBM-compatible mouse.
Our tutorial computer is an Intel 486-66DX with 16 megabytes of RAM. We're using a double-speed CD-ROM and a 16-bit Sound Blaster sound card.
If we do not want to answer technical questions about our computer and its attached hardware, we choose the Easy Installation feature.
Also, Easy Installation installs pre-selected features of OS2.
Use Advanced Installation to install OS2 Warp on a drive or partition other than C.
With Advanced Installation, we can install specific software instead of the pre-selected group and save hard drive space.
Keep in mind, OS2 uses about 60 megabytes of your hard drive. Let's install OS2 Warp. We'll use Easy Installation.
For now, place the learning disk that accompanies this tutorial in a convenient location. We'll copy its files to the hard drive later.
If you are installing OS2 Warp with us, have your Windows 3.1 program disks nearby. We'll begin at the MS-DOS hard drive prompt. Ours is C. We place the Warp installation disk in the proper drive. Ours is A. We place our Warp installation CD-ROM in the drive. Our computer is already on, so we restart it by pressing Ctrl plus Alt plus Delete.
If your computer will not boot from drive A, adjust your boot configuration in your CMOS setup.
We see the IBM installation screen. We remove the installation diskette from the drive. Then we place the diskette for CD-ROM in drive A. We press Enter, and OS2 Warp begins to load the system onto the hard drive. We see the Welcome to OS2 screen. Now, we can choose whether to install OS2 with the Easy or Advanced installation. With Easy installation highlighted, we press Enter, and OS2 begins loading system files. At the prompt, we remove the diskette from drive A. We press Enter, and OS2 reboots our computer. We see the OS2 Warp logo screen. Now, we see the System Configuration window. We see our country configuration and our hardware devices. We accept the defaults. We press OK and see the Select System Default Printer window. With Do Not Install Default Printer highlighted, we choose OK. At the Multimedia Device Settings window, we accept the defaults and select OK. OS2 Warp transfers files to the hard disk. OS2 updates our system configuration, then continues transferring files to our hard disk. At the Insert Windows Diskette prompts, we insert the proper disks. Then we press Enter. OS2 Warp completes the installation. Now we need to shut down and restart our system. We remove the diskette from drive A. Now we choose OK. OS2 Warp completes the shutdown procedure. We restart our system by pressing Ctrl plus Alt plus Delete. We see the logo screen, the OS2 desktop, and the Introducing OS2 tutorial window. We have a sound card and hear the Warp welcome sound.
You may pause the tape now to practice on your computer.
Let's review what we covered in Chapter 1. We listed the operating systems you can install OS2 Warp over.
We discussed the minimum computer system you need for running OS2 Warp.
We explained the easy and advanced installation options. Finally, we installed OS2 Warp using easy installation.